Welcome to the Tissue Box Podcast. I'm your host, Pam Jordan. Welcome to the Tissue Box Podcast, where we dive deep into the stories that move us, challenge us, and ultimately help us grow. I'm your host, Pam Jordan, and today we have an incredibly special guest who embodies the essence of what it means to evolve through life's trials and triumphs. Join us in this remarkable journey of Tommy Deas IV. As a devoted father and an inspiring creative, Tommy brings a wealth of experience and insight to our conversation today. We are so excited to have him. His journey through fatherhood, healing, forgiveness, and personal growth has not only shaped him into the person he is today, but it serves as a beacon of hope and resilience for us all. Tommy's voice is one we truly need to hear. His story is a testament of the power of embracing change and finding peace within ourselves, even when life throws its toughest challenges our way. And that happens more often than not. Whether you're a parent, a creative soul, or someone seeking a path to healing and forgiveness, Tommy's insights are sure to resonate with you deeply. Settle in and get ready for an inspiring discussion that promises to touch your heart and ignite your spirit. Let's welcome Tommy Deas IV to the Tissue Box Podcast. Hello, my friend.
Wow.
Mr. T.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
How
Thank
are
you
you?
so much. I am lost for words right now.
Come on.
Man, I don't consider myself to be more than what I am, but to see others just acknowledge those things that they see in me
Yeah.
is beautiful. And just hearing it, the way that you just put it together, I'm like, man,
Yeah.
thank you.
You feel like the king you are.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
So we are so happy to have you here today, and we are so excited to get into your journey, your story. Tell us a little bit about you. Tell us a little bit about Tommy Deas IV. That means there's a lot of y'all, right?
It is. It is.
So tell us a little bit about you and your background.
Tommy Deas IV, born and raised right here in Florence, South Carolina. Went to Wilson High School, graduated class of 2009. Upon graduation, I attended South Carolina State University, where I majored in mass communications and journalism. And I also served as a member of the Marching 101 and a drum major for 2 of those years.
Okay.
Recently, like you said, I'm a father. That's probably the most important thing in my life right now. I really couldn't imagine my life without my son. He definitely has made an undeniable imprint, and maybe the catalyst, maybe the very catalyst for the journey that I'm embarking on at this moment.
So can you share some of the specific ways fatherhood has changed you?
I wouldn't say it's necessarily a change, but it's brought out things that was already within me.
Made you better?
Made me better, and to realize that some of the things that I was participating in and involving myself in wasn't the best thing, not only for myself, but the example that I would like to see for my son.
Mm-hmm.
So just being able to look in the mirror and to embrace that darkness, but also realizing that your darkness is only a choice.
Can we talk about your darkness?
Of course, of course.
What did that darkness look like for you? And how did being a father or learning that you were about to become a father bring you out of the darkness?
I would start by saying the men that came before me, my father, my grandfather, my great-grandfather, every man in my family has played an integral part into who I am today.
Mm-hmm.
And like I always tell people, I'm only doing what I've been shown to do as a man when it comes to being a father. And what I want to do is take that even further, because this is a new time.
Right.
I can't take those same principles that I had, that was being given to me growing up, and have that same intensity towards my son, because we have to realize that men are broken.
Mm.
Men are broken, and it's not.
That did something to me just now when you said that.
And,
Men are broken.
but it's necessary though. Brokenness is necessary because you're able to create something new.
But that's only if you recognize that you're broken.
Mm-hmm. And
And
a lot of people can't stand their darkness.
oh,
They can't stand their darkness. So we tend to project those things that we don't believe we're capable of
onto others. Oh, we're just having a conversation about
and
how.
I just admire one of the quotes from Louis Farrakhan, and he's stating that we're all pieces of wood from the same pile.
Hmm.
And what you find in one, you'll just find in another. So you have to shine. You got to give yourself a shine. You have to be broken. You have to be polished. All those things are necessary for us to go to our real level or our next level.
Right. So was it the beginning of fatherhood and learning that you were about to be, did that just shine a different light? Was it like a light bulb moment to say, wait a minute, what am I doing here? And I'm about to bring a child into the world. Is that what
kind of sparked it?
Yeah.
At first I was scared. I really was. But talking to my dad and, just him instilling in me, like, you already know the things that you're capable of doing. And you have to believe those things. A lot of times we don't believe in ourselves enough. So once we have the opportunity to, sit with ourselves and realize what we're capable of, or even where we come from. I was up last night about 3 or 4 in the morning, and I was just looking at my social media page, and it's just like a journal. It's just like a journal. I have videos of me being a performer, doing all these great things, but inside, I wasn't fulfilled. It wasn't fulfilling to me. And even though I had the power to do those things, it's a difference when you have the authority. The authority makes the difference. You have the power to open a door that says authorized personnel only, but you don't have the authorization to do it. So even though it's in your power to do, that doesn't make you authorized to do so. I believe I was doing a lot of things under power that I can do versus saying I'm authorized to do this because of the title that I have, or just who I am as a person.
Right.
So just seeing that, looking in the mirror, looking at my dad, and seeing him as an example to what a father is. And that's not to say my dad was perfect or that I always agreed. But after a while, I understood. After I had my son and realizing, like, hey, there are going to be some things that you have to face within yourself so you don't give it to your son.
Wow, that's deep.
And God is just amazing, because there were times where I wasn't as patient as I should be, just because I knew my son's mental capabilities and how quick-witted he is and quick to learn. But God had to tell me, he's still a kid. So why would you treat someone that's a kid as if he were an adult?
Right.
So that's something I had to look at and say, hey, even now, people would say, oh, he's doing too much, or why does he do this? I'm like, he's just a kid.
Right.
I want my son to be a kid. I do not want my son to grow up and be unfulfilled. Because that's one of the things I believe I struggle with. Doing things or listening to people saying what I should do versus what was in my nature, what was already natural, or even more so what I was already doing. Because a lot of times society will have us hide our true selves for their benefit. And just realizing that is the case when it comes to society, I just start to live for myself.
So you talk about your father a lot.
I love my dad.
Yeah, I
love
can tell.
man, and it's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. People all the time, they say they admire the relationship I have with my son, the relationship I have with my dad, or even my grandfather. And they're like, have you always been like this? And I would say yes, but now that I'm older and wiser, and I have some level of experience when it comes to being a man, I just have a greater respect for my father, my grandfather. So everything you see when it comes to me and my dad, me and my granddad, me and my son, everything is real. It's not for show. We cameras on, cameras off, or out in public, not in public. We keep the same attitude. And I really don't know where I would be if I haven't even forgiven my father. If I never forgiven my father for not knowing. Not knowing just another way. Because a lot of times we feel like it's only one way to get things done.
What about that forgiveness? Was that a tough was that a tough journey?
For me, yes, but only because of ego. Only because of ego. Growing up, my dad would always say, you could always come to me, you can always tell me anything. But the space wasn't always there for it to happen. Or maybe it was, but I was too afraid of the consequence of me being honest and forward about how I felt or what I've done. So just from there until then, from then until now, it's just beautiful how we maneuvered our relationship, because I never even thought me and my dad would have the relationship we have right now. And that's not to say like my dad is some scary guy. He's not. Yeah. But it's the reverence and the boundary that was set while I was growing up.
And so the relationship hadn't always been good.
I wouldn't say good, but in a way that benefited me the most.
Right.
I never had to question that my dad loved me, if he cared about me. But I believe it was more so me being open and actually being welcome into confrontation. I think that's a part of it too. A lot of times confrontation is necessary, and growing up I was afraid of confrontation. Just based off of my upbringing. I was raised in the church, apostolic. So it's just like you don't ask any questions. Wow. You don't go outside of grace in a sense. But I mean, like I tell them now, now that I'm where I am now, man, God's grace is sufficient everywhere you go. Okay. As long as you abide in Him and you keep Him first in your life, man, God is sitting with us right now.
He be doing it, right?
Man, the biggest.
Yeah. Big God. Don't get me.
And another beautiful thing, and like I said, I'm a church kid, so it's like if I had 10,000 tongues,
couldn't praise Him enough.
But you hear it, you be like,
what are they talking about? Now you understand.
But now it's like, hey man, God, He's the EST, right? The biggest, strongest, fastest. And now I'm at a place of just surrender. Surrender, and I believe me surrendering has given me the momentum that I need to really carry out what it is that He has planned for me. So I'm taking everything that God has given me and even with this right here, I never expected or thought this. That's how I know this is something divine. Ooh. And this is something that's going to carry me. Absolutely. It's going to catapult me into the next level.
So when you look at young men today and you see it, what does that do to you? Knowing where you are right now versus what we see and how young men are struggling to be responsible, struggling to have some kind of accountability. When you see that struggle, I know me as a woman, it breaks my heart to see that. But what does it do for you as a man to see these young men out here just wandering and not being responsible?
It hurts. It hurts, but I also understand that they're only misguided. For about three or 4 years, I was in the school system working at alternative school. And what I realized is that a lot of times these kids are carrying things that they shouldn't be. So how can I expect them to be a certain type of way when the responsibilities that they carry are those that one of us should carry, that an adult should carry?
And an adult, right? Yeah.
So I believe that although that is sad, we still have to promote the healthiness of what a man is, of what a healthy, strong black man is.
Healthy, strong black man.
And a part of
yes.
that is accepting that darkness that we all share. Everybody in here has a darkness.
Looking in the mirror, and they don't want to face that. They don't want to respect. It is scary.
It's scary, but it's necessary.
Right.
Because in life, my granddad told me this. He said, sometimes life will pacify you. The things that life gives us will pacify us, but it'll never satisfy us.
Right.
So
when you see them out here and they're just running and racing, trying to catch the next big thing, and still not being fulfilled.
They're chasing after something instead of enjoying the journey.
Yes.
Because this is the most beautiful part of it all is the journey. Like I was saying, when I was looking at all those clips and those things, that was a journey for me to be sitting here right now. Back then, 10 years ago, I would never think that I would be in this position right now. But looking in the mirror, like we said, being honest with ourselves, holding ourselves accountable, and actively doing better, whether that's therapy, whether that's going to the park, or just being alone. There's a stillness.
But you know what? I found some people really don't like the quietness of being alone. It's uncomfortable.
I tell people when it's quiet is when it's the loudest.
I know.
Because you're right here. It's right here now.
Yeah.
Because when we're amongst each other, it's not as crazy as it is in here. But man, when we by ourselves, Lord have mercy.
And that scares some people. Mental wellness is just, I can't say enough about it. And sometimes you have to be purposeful.
You do. Intentional.
You
really do.
About the thoughts.
You really do.
You have to be in control of your thoughts, because life be lifing out here, crazy stuff is happening all the time.
And then you got to add dealing with people on top of that.
That part.
In our relationships, if I mishandle you, I could very well set you back a number of years.
Or trigger something in me, because people are so quick to react. They don't take time to say,
They jump off a cliff without a parachute.
There you go.
And that's one thing that I always keep in the front of my mind. Like I said, I'm very well aware of my darkness. So people always ask me, man, why are you so positive? Why do you have such a good attitude? I say, because I choose it.
It's a choice.
I know my darkness.
That's right. It's a choice. And you have to understand that it is a choice. I mean, you can either purposely have a good day intentionally, or you can have a bad day. It all starts up here in your thoughts.
And a lot of times we think a choice is the choice. When it's just an option for us to do. It's just like a GPS. Me and my son was talking about GPS. He said, Dad, what is GPS? I said, it's global positioning system. I said, what it does, it gives you various routes that you could take This way is 10 minutes faster. This one has heavier traffic.
Mm-hmm.
But it's all gonna lead you to the same place.
So you choose. It's a choice.
A choice, but it's not the choice. It's not just one way.
Right.
It's a choice. So hey, if you want to go here, you have to realize, hey, there's gonna be a little bit more traffic here. Hey, cops might be here more, but it's all about the choices that we make that that form our life. And man, I just want to choose better every day.
Yeah.
Better, choose more of myself, choose more intentionality.
Wow.
And choose more purpose. Just choose more of the things that grow my garden.
And I think more Black men need to have that kind of attitude. You know, our relationships are suffering.
Truly.
Because they're, I mean, and, you know, both sides, women and men, we have our issues. But, you know, it's so much that the woman has to carry on because the man is not
not in place, not in position. Not
it hurts to say that. I'm struggling with that,
true.
but it is true.
That's how we get through it. We got to be honest with ourselves. And I was really just talking about this morning about how men, we have to take our rightful position.
You want to be leaders. But in order to be leaders, you have to.
You got to straighten out.
You got to lead. You got to be right yourself, and that means taking a tough look at yourself, and and say, you know what, maybe I could do this better.
Yeah.
You know, if I want her to follow me, then I need to lead. I need to do everything in my power to make this situation right, to make our life right. You know,
you're absolutely correct. And in turn, I just believe also that women would say they want leaders, but they have to be open to being led. I believe a lot of times society has given us this illusion that even I fall victim to that illusion, saying that I don't believe I need anybody. But in essence, to our core, man, you shouldn't be out here by yourself.
You shouldn't. But women, in our defense,
go ahead.
We've had to lead for so long. You know what I'm saying? And then, because I hear this a lot, women feel like they don't need nobody, right?
Yeah.
Because we've been in charge for so long. We've been the leaders for so long in these relationships where we have to be both mother and father. You know, we have to go out and work. We have to take care of the house. We have to, there's so many things that we do, and we do it naturally because we are caregivers. We are nurturers.
Of course,
right?
Of course.
So when I think if a man is a man, and he's leading and he's doing what he needs to do to take care of the family, I think women will easily follow that. You don't believe me?
I wouldn't say I don't believe you, but I believe
there's a crack in that somewhere.
Not even a crack. Not even a crack. Because what you're saying is true, but I also believe that men should be given the space to work those things out. You know, and that's not saying be with the man through BS, for lack of a better word, right now. But if you recognize that a man is, you know, giving his best and making sure you're taken care of to the best of his ability that you've shown him that you want to be, men will naturally want to step up. Men will, I believe that. The proper man.
There you go.
We can't. Yeah. That's the thing.
Okay, let's hit on that.
That's the thing now.
Because all of them ain't ready.
Don't. And even with myself, I tend to make things very personal. And again, I was talking to someone about it. Oh man, I hear it all the time. Oh man, you're a husband. I'm like, where my wife at then?
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? If I'm such a husband, where's my wife? And a lot of times it just as bad as just as much as men don't want to do the work. I believe we in mass. I'm just not going to say women. I don't want to make things a gender thing, but I think society in mass has become less accountable and more entitled.
Mm.
And I believe that's where a big issue lies, because we use people in a way, and don't get me wrong, we are all users. You all are using me right now.
In a good way, though.
In a good way, no. That's the relationship that we should have with one another. But
right.
Oftentimes we have become so selfish and individualistic that we don't see the value in one another. And we have this illusion.
It's just about what we want. Everybody
even
wants
more so the illusion that we can get what we want.
Yeah.
But that's not always the case, because for you to receive a certain type, you have to be a certain type yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't be able to be where I am right here if I don't have the spirit and attitude and character that I have now.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't have been here 10 years ago. Podcast, you want to interview me, man? But once you got to grow up. You got to mature.
You got to grow up.
You got to mature and recognize that life is not meant to be lived alone. But you also have to realize that I play a part in what I attract. And even more so, what I keep around me.
Mm.
And what we tend to do is we project and gaslight, saying, oh, well, so-and-so did this. And we play a lot of tit for tat.
Oh, yes.
We do that tit for tat.
We do
stuff,
that. Mm-hmm.
But we grown.
Grown well.
My boy play tic-tac-toe. You do one thing, I'm going to do this thing. But in actuality, if we all can just sit down
and be adults
and communicate
and
that is the thing. Comprehend,
right?
Because I can communicate to you all day long, but if you're not comprehending, it's going right over your head, hitting that wall.
And if we're adults, why do we have to argue? Why can't we have a conversation? If we have a disagreement, you talk, I listen. I talk, you listen. And then we discuss it. Why can't we do that if we're adults?
Ego. We want to be right so bad. We'd rather be right than with someone or to reach a compromise. And that's not conducive to a relationship, because if you always think you should always have your way, at the moment that you do not, who knows? Who knows? Now I got to walk on eggshells.
Exactly.
Because you don't have your way.
Wow.
And it's just like, get over it, and get over yourself. My brother, he tells his son when he's disappointed, he say, hey, man, get over it, because 5 minutes, it'll be another one.
It'll be another
disappointment. So if you let that one, and I'm speaking to myself.
Yeah.
I can't let previous things or experiences block me from the people that I should be connected with.
Do you feel like you've grown since your last relationship?
What?
Yeah.
You wanted to recognize me at the beginning of the year.
Really?
Man, what?
What did you look like at the beginning of the year?
What in eating? Man, listen. Man, look, Lord.
Come on with it.
Listen.
Come on, we just talking.
I'm gonna tell it, but it's funny. It's funny because I was talking to a friend. He's in Colombia, and I was telling him like, "Yeah, man, I got an interview tomorrow." He said, "Man, you better tell it."
Uh-oh.
And I was like, "What?" He was like, "Bro, you know what I'm talking about." So you said that, it's just like, man, what? I gotta tell it for real.
You really gotta tell it now.
Beginning of the year is just man, wow. Man.
Okay.
You got me doing a...
Come on. That's okay. Safe space.
It is. But you know what I said? I said this. I'm no longer protecting anybody. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times we say, oh, I ain't gonna say this, I ain't gonna say that. Why not? It happened. It happened. So
Yeah, and it's your truth, and you have to tell it to in order to grow.
that's a major part. But with my son's mom, this is around 20. I'm gonna take it back. It's 2024.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so 2020, she got deployed with the military. So I kept my son full time, no question. She was about to take her to her mom. And I'm like, yo, that's my son. Like, I can raise my son. So, I ended up raising my son. I've had him for a full year. And in between that time while she was gone, I told her, like, man, like, if we're gonna be together, I would like for us to, talk about those things, for us to take it to that next level.
That's even big right there, having that conversation.
Yeah. Yeah. And she was still away. She's like, yeah, man, we can do that. We can talk, whatever. So she finally came back after a year. And well, in between that, while she was gone, what I'm saying, she started doing certain things, what I'm saying, dealing with other people that are taken, what I'm saying, pretty much. But she brought it back to South Carolina. And came back, and I'm not somebody who goes looking for information. You know what I'm saying? Like, God, I'm God's child. Everything I need to know, God gonna bring it to me in time.
All right.
So it got to a point where the actions, well, first, man, when she got back, I took her around to find a house, find a car, you know what I'm saying? Just to set her back up in an appropriate way, thinking that, hey,
This me and
like,
you.
this is gonna be me and
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
And during that time, I guess she was still wanting to do her own thing or whatever. So, man, got her house, got her car, and she was like, "Oh, you coming to stay with us?" I said,
Okay.
I don't have no problem with that, but yo, we still need to talk about, what I'm saying, what it is, where we are and where we're going.
Mm-hmm.
Or, what I'm saying, just have a complete straightening.
And usually it's the female that's pushing that conversation. Usually, typically it is.
That's all I say. When I ain't got no words, I just raise my hand.
Raise my hands. Yes.
And she wasn't having it. She wasn't having it. So
Wow.
I was like, man, like, I'm not gonna be in a place that's a repeat. If I'm just carrying all that energy from one place to
To
another
another,
place. I
yeah.
do not desire that. I do not desire that. But I guess that's what she desired. So she did that. And still trying to, save my family, keep my family, because, like, I was raised in a 2-parent household. So the idea,
Okay.
just the idea.
That makes the difference. Did she grow up in a 2-parent household?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. But that's her story.
Yeah.
But so seeing that, even to this day, I struggle with not having my son around me the way it's concerning to me, because I'm a protective person, very protective, very nurturing. And if it's somebody I care about, I need to know about it. It's not even the fact I want to be nosy, anything like that, but like, that's mine. So did all that. This was December, like 2023. Like I said, still fighting for my family. You know what I'm saying? She's still doing what she's doing. So this is what, 2024. And man, I was just doing crazy stuff, man. I ain't even gonna sit here. Not crazy in the sense like, oh, I'm like trying to break down your glass and that. But like I said, when God gives me like an inkling or something in my gut, like, I gotta follow that. So I would, and it might be as crazy, but she would tell me, hey, man, like, you can come to my house anytime. You know what I'm
Uh-oh.
saying? And
I,
I work
I know
early in
where
the
this is
morning.
going.
I work early in the morning.
Yeah.
And like it was one morning, like I had to use the bathroom. You know what I'm saying? And like I wasn't thinking that. You know?
Okay. I know, because I know where you're
But I mean that's my own naivete, you know what I'm saying?
going. Mm-hmm.
So I mean I went, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, yeah, let me use the bathroom. Like, she like, and like this one I really knew. Man, she talked to me through the ring camera.
Uh-oh.
I said, man, what? I said, man, you just said like I just need to use the bathroom. At this point, I don't even care what you got going on because you already showed me what it was. So that's when I was like, man, you know what? Man, just forget it, man. But that jump just really took a toll on me. And even more recently, like even the news that I got recently, well, not recently, but earlier this year,
Mm-hmm.
and it's about to culminate. It's difficult because you're doing for somebody else what you said you'll do for me, and you want me to
Wow.
be okay with it.
How does that feel as a
Terrible,
as a
terrible,
man? I mean,
terrible. I
mm,
wasn't eating, I wasn't sleeping. I would wake up with the same thoughts I was going to sleep with, and that even more so, I'm concerned about my son because you have people around my son that I don't know
mm.
and I haven't met, and you tell me it's inappropriate for me to meet them, but
So
you got them around them. That
that was a dark place for you.
one of that I was within my dark place within that.
Yeah.
So that just the whole relationship, but I'm glad that it happened. Thinking out these past 6 months,
How
you
did you
wouldn't think. You wouldn't think.
how did you deal with that though?
Being
How did
real,
you get from that to where you are
being
now?
real, being real. Everything that she said was just an illusion. I was listening, but I wasn't paying attention. What you
Oh,
saying and what you
wow.
doing never lined up. And when I brought it to your attention, you gaslit me and told me you know what I'm saying, I'm being too emotional or too sensitive. When you promise me something and I see you give it to somebody else,
Oh.
but then you tell people we split mutually. No, wasn't nothing mutual about it. But in that, I found so much clarity, so much love. What I realized in that, I never loved myself the way that I thought I did. Lord have
Oh, you
mercy.
were looking for it from somebody else.
And that just come from years of me being a child, wanting to be a people pleaser, and wanting to be validated constantly. So I don't put no blame on her.
Mm-hmm.
She was just a role in the story that was meant for me.
To get you where you
Get me
are right
right.
now.
That's all it is.
Mm-hmm.
But it took me to step back from that and not say, why is this happening to me? And to say, why is it happening for me? I had to see why it was happening for me so I could be here.
Okay, so what did that journey look like? What did you do? Did you have to constantly talk to yourself? Did you seek counseling?
Mm.
How did you deal with those dark days?
The grace of God. The grace of God. It just seemed like it was no way out of that.
Mm.
Seemingly, because that's an investment.
Yeah,
And
because
we
when you get to the point where you can't eat,
that you see what I'm saying? I love to
that's
eat.
a
I'm a
situation.
country boy. I'm a country boy. I love to eat. And I'm just so thankful for the people that were around me during that time.
That's
They,
important.
man,
Your circle is important.
listen, and like that's why I'm so particular now. I'm particular about who I let into my circle because if you
Mm-hmm.
can't handle my darkness, you don't deserve my light.
Oh,
You
that's good.
don't.
That's good.
You don't. And every day when I see people that have impacted me in a positive way,
Mm-hmm.
flowers, flowers, because you didn't have to. This whole journey that I've been on just
Mm-hmm.
showed me that nobody has to do what they do for you. But also, you should be open to people doing things for you as well.
Right.
Because if you continuously shut, oh no, I ain't
Mm,
want to do this. I ain't want,
right. Right.
man.
Who wants to be around that vibe?
You know,
Who wants to be around
nobody.
the
I didn't want to be around myself.
wow.
But like I said, me realizing and people telling me like, "Hey, man, you're a great dude." You know what I'm saying? And not even a sense of me believing it, but from them. But I needed to hear that because I was beat down. I was talked about for my finances. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have no money. She didn't care that I had a job and was working and making legal money.
Mm,
It was, you know what I'm saying? And that's fair. I'm not mad at that. But instead of being critical, if we're in a partnership, you should be helping.
right.
But when we don't have those proper examples, I mean,
Right. And and that takes me back to your upbringing. You know, your father, your grandfather still in your life and what they
yes,
instilled in you
man,
growing up and having that church background, you know,
just
if you didn't
divine connection,
right.
divine
And
connection.
do you think things would have been different if you didn't have a background, if you weren't raised in a
Oh
background like
man,
that?
yes, yes.
So, as we come to the end of our podcast here today with Mr. Thomas Deas the IV, we got little Thomas, not the fifth,
Not the fifth.
but
Tell
shaking his
them
head
your
no.
name, man. Tell the people your name.
Tristan Ollie Deas.
That's right.
All right,
Ali means the
Tristan.
highest. That's my guy, y'all.
So,
This
how
is the
does
lifesaver.
yeah, I was going to ask you, how does it make you feel here, sitting right beside
Cry,
beside
cry,
your son? And
cry.
yeah,
Every time I talk about my son in front of people, my voice gets shaky. You know, you get that little frog in your throat.
in your throat, yeah,
Lord
that
have
little lump,
mercy.
yeah.
Bring the tears to my look. I'm shaking right now.
Wow.
Man, I wouldn't trade my son for the world. I really wouldn't. And I can't even imagine where I'll be and what I'll be doing. It's nothing else that I'd rather be doing.
Wow.
I've done things that I wasn't supposed to do. So to be doing something that I was supposed to be doing is
Yeah.
gratifying. And just to see him or to see him grow up while he watches me grow up,
Oh, that's good.
that's even better. And he
So
told me
what's
this maybe 2 weeks ago. He said, Daddy, I want to be smart like you. I say, man,
wow.
son, you already smart. I say, man, you 7 years old and you learning things that I learned when I'm 30 and you 7. So you already got it right here.
So what's the most important lesson you can teach him as you know the challenges that he's going to face?
I'm gonna say this. And my dad told me this last month, and it really changed my perspective. You're number one, son. You're number one. All right. Before any man, look.
Oh, grab a tissue.
Lord have mercy. That thing
This
right
is
there.
beautiful. This is
That thing right there. That thing just jump on me that quick. But Lord have mercy.
That's awesome. We need
Son,
to. This is the sight that
you are
we
number
need to
one.
see.
All right,
We need more of
you're
this.
number one, man. All right. I want you to remember that, bro.
Okay.
All right.
Aw.
Don't ever let nobody tell you can't do something, man. You know what I'm saying? Because you can, bro. You can, man, okay? And that's why I support you and love you like I do, man. Because I know you can do it, bro. You know what I'm saying? Oh, they got me
I don't
crying
know if
on
I can
y'all.
take no more of
Y'all
this.
got me crying on these people. Oh,
Go
Lord,
ahead.
have mercy.
As you
Ah,
can see, today has been an incredible episode. I can't find words. Um, I truly hope that you have enjoyed this episode of the Tissue Box Podcast. Again, we're here to change lives. We're here to change trauma's narrative. And we are so happy and grateful that you tuned in today. Please like, subscribe, share, and until next time.